Greetings, fellow owners. We hope this short video will help you get to know each of us better as candidates. We want you to know why we are running and what we stand for. We're asking you to elect all three of us so that we can replace the incumbents running in this election, form a majority on the board, and be able to deliver on the changes we've proposed. Since the board has 5 members, electing all three of us will allow us to work effectively for the changes that we're talking about. Here's what we want to implement. Some things are simple, fairly easy to do. Others will require ongoing work, but they are important. We believe in them. We believe in holding board meetings that include owner input. We believe in holding budget meetings with owners. We believe in working now toward enabling owners with balconies to have enclosures. We believe it is important for AGMs to be both in person and electronic. We believe in working toward fair and reasonable taxes and condo fees. We believe in working with owners and other residents to foster community. The board has made it almost impossible to reach out to individual owners, particularly those who are non-resident owners. We asked the board to send our information to all owners on our behalf during this election. They refused multiple times. After the board began sending out emails distorting our message, the three of us prepared this video and are circulating it via email to all owners. Each of us is going to take a few moments to tell you why we're running and what we hope to change and what we think we can do better. I'm going to ask my fellow candidate Edgar Schmidt to begin.
Hi. Yes, my name is Edgar Schmidt, and I'm inviting you to vote for me as a director of the Condo Corporation for 55 Nassau. Here are 2 of the things that are important to me and that I would work toward as a director. The first is much more open communication. The present board seeks to insulate itself from owners' input and to control or even prevent communications among unit owners. Instead, I would support finding ways for owners to communicate with each other, both on a simple human level and on condo issues. Simple communication needs to be fostered and facilitated, not frustrated. Some specifics. Well, communication is the foundation for community. If you want community, you need to foster connection, and that takes communication. So, for example, if one of us is an artist, how does she or he let the rest of us know that there's an art show happening in which their work appears? We need to provide a place, either a physical bulletin board or a digital bulletin board, or probably both, for resident notices without any rigmarole of pre-clearance with the board and management. Then, with regard specifically to condo business, I would want to also foster much more open communication. One example of a present policy I would not support continuing is the artificial limits on communication by candidates for election to the board, keeping such communication both very brief and limiting it to biographical data. That's artificial, anti-democratic. It's against your interests as voters if you can't know what issues are important to candidates, and it's equally unfair to the candidates. If people running to be elected as an MLA or MP were so limited, isn't it self-evident that this would be against the interests of both voters and candidates? A second issue that I want to work on. I'd like to begin working immediately to seek a way forward for balcony enclosures. Why put off this work until all the balcony work has been completed, a matter of years? If the work is begun immediately and a way can be found for balcony enclosures going forward, that way can inform what's done as the balcony edge repair proceeds. Instead of the board's someday, what if the board were to work now with engineers, architects, and city officials to arrive at a form of balcony enclosure that meets all requirements, aesthetic, structural, and legal? That might facilitate owners arranging for the installation of such enclosures in connection with the work being done on balcony edges. There's a saying, the best time to plant a tree is 40 years ago, but the second best time is now. The best time to have done this enclosure work was before beginning the balcony edge repairs, but the second best time is now. Thanks.
Hi, my name is Dinah Kunst. In the last few weeks, I've heard from many unit owners. The main concerns they expressed to me were that their condo fees were getting unaffordable, their concerns were falling on deaf ears, and that the loss of their balcony enclosures was causing them great distress. Before standing for election, I shared all these same concerns. But after this week, I have several more to add to my list. I'm very disturbed by the board's refusal to disclose information they are required to disclose. Board's interference with democratic election, board's refusal to issue unbiased proxy forms, and most recently, the board accusing us of spreading misinformation. I'm not here to knock everything the board has done, because in all fairness, they have done many good things for our community, but there is certainly room for improvement. For instance, more openness and transparency. We want to make sure all unit owners receive the information they are entitled to receive from the Condo Corporation. We want to make sure their concerns and ideas are heard. We want their input. We want to make our AGMs more inclusive by going back to the in-person meeting with the ability to join electronically for those who so desire. By continuing to hold virtual meetings exclusively, we exclude a large segment of unit owners, namely people without computers, which are most often the elderly. This is an ageist practice that needs to be discontinued. Condo fees have been rising every year much faster than the rate of inflation. This is unsustainable in the long term, especially for unit owners that are on a fixed income. I would like to investigate ways in which this trend can be reversed. We want to change the way in which issues at 55 Nassau are handled. We don't think it's right to punish everyone in a situation where there are only a few offenders. The offenders need to be dealt with directly. Case in point, the new pet policy that the current board is trying to pass. Most pet owners in the building are responsible pet owners. There's no need to target them. They should not be made to pay for the infraction of others. The board not addressing the issue of balcony enclosures is also very upsetting for many. The board claims to be willing to address the issue when the balconies are completed. But if this was really their intention, then why did they recently amend the resident handbook to read, balcony enclosures are not permitted. Any existing enclosures may not be replaced if in need of major repair or reinstalled if removed due to building repairs. The prior residence handbook clearly stated that balcony enclosures were permitted. So why the change? They also said in one of their communications, the corporation will not be permitting unit owners to reinstall or replace any enclosures or structures on the balconies at 55 Nassau. If it was really their intention to work in good faith for the owners who want to replace their balcony enclosures, they would have already followed the path put forward by our legal counsel back in 2024. And today we would have more certainty. But instead, we are still in limbo. My question to you is, who's doing the misleading? Why the wait? Another issue is the proxy forms. Up until 2018, there were no issues with the proxy forms, but for some reason the board felt it was a good idea to add the names of the incumbent board members so as to make it really easy for unit owners to pick one of them to vote on their behalf. If elected, we'll go back to using an unbiased form. I could go on, but I think I'll stop here. I have taken up enough of your time. Thanks for listening and thanks for your support.
Thanks. Greetings, everyone. My name's Jerry Story. Marlene and I have lived in the building for 10 years. And over my life, I've had the good fortune to be involved in governance at many levels, from the classroom as a teacher to a cabinet minister, school superintendent. As an owner, I've always believed that we need to be involved in condo affairs. What I've learned is that leadership is about listening and learning. being elected to a condo board is about listening. It's about being honest and sharing information fully with others and exploring options fully with others. That is how you make good decisions. Most of the time, intelligent people looking for answers can agree on what needs to be done. I have also found that if reasonable people have the same information as I do, solutions can be found. That's why discussing things openly without fear that someone may disagree is so important. Sharing information with other owners builds trust. My promise to you, our promise to you, is to listen and share important information with you on important matters. For example, the budget process will start with a meeting about our current financial circumstances. We are a community of 300 owners, and decisions about condo fees, contributions to the reserve fund, and where we spend our money, or how we save money and keep condo fees reasonable, should be everyone's concern. Second, there are 212 out of 300 of us that own balconies. Having a balcony enclosure adds value to our investment. We will make it a priority to begin work to make it possible, if possible, for all people with balconies to reinstall them or install balcony enclosures. Telling prospective purchasers or a renter that you have a sunroom, an enclosed balcony, adds value to your home and will make 55 Nassau special. I should add that no one without a balcony should bear the cost of making sure those who can have one are able to have one. The cost should be borne by the owners who choose to have a balcony enclosure. We want a board that trusts owners enough to have open meetings and share information fully. We want a board that respects voters enough to run a fair election. The current proxy form is unfair. The current proxy form with only incumbents listed may be legal, but it's wrong. It's like a provincial election with only the names of the party in power on the ballot. The board has been asked to change this by many people and has refused. Last year, almost half of the owners did not vote. If you really want change, this time you need to vote. The three of us will change the board's dynamics and we will change the direction of the board. It's not that we have anything disparaging to say about the current board. We just think things can be done differently. So vote for us. Thank you.
Thank you.